Okay, this video is going to be on waxing the bullets for these Colt split boxes, and I like to have a very thin coat of wax on these, and because if the wax is too thick, you will end up with a situation like this where when you close the box, it'll kind of smash the wax, and then your bullets, it's okay they stick in there, but you can see how the wax got kind of squished off of the bullets. And so these need a thin coat of wax, but if you don't mind it being like that, it really doesn't matter. A correctly waxed bullet will look like this when you open it. It will be a very nice thin coat with wax in the groove. And so to achieve that, there's two different methods that can be done. And this was a common practice back in the day. There is a book by Mr. Hawes, I can't remember his first name. He wrote a book back in the 1800s on making cartridges for rifles. Specifically, he was an English gentleman, so it was for the Enfield rifles and stuff. And even in his book, they describe setting the cartridges on a hot plate to pre-warm them before they wax them. So basically, I will use a similar method to that. And then there's also another method without a hot plate. And for my hot plate, I'm using this coffee warmer with an adjustable temperature setting. You need to adjust the temperature, and I have this at 130 degrees. That seems to work good. So that preheats my bullets. And so the first method I'm going to show here is without the hot plate. And so to do that, it's basically you got to hold the bullet in the wax till the wax basically heats your bullet up. So you got to sit there and hold it in the wax for probably 30 seconds or so. And so you got to kind of dip it down in, and I lift it up, and you can see how the wax like this is really thick and heavy if you just dip them. So you kind of dip it down, lift it up, and you hold about half the bullet in the wax. And this takes some time. And you just look at it till the wax, you can see the wax kind of melt off. And now it'll heat up the bullet and kind of melt away from the top there where the lube groove is. And so once the bullets heat up, you'll end up with something like this. When you pull the bullet out, it shouldn't frost over and solidify right away. It should still be liquid. And then I will dab the end off here. And I have a piece of tin in here just as so to run back into my pot. So I just dab the excess off, and then when you flip it over, that'll have the right amount of wax on it. And so for the hot plate, what I do is I'll put these nuts on a hot plate, set my temperature to 130. And then I have enough nuts on here that I can rotate through them in a clockwise direction. You can go counterclockwise if you want. Don't matter which way you go. So this enables me to just rotate through my bullets, and by the time I get back to where I started, they'll be warmed up again. And so this is a cold bullet. So what I will do is I will put that in the empty slot, pull the next one out clockwise. This is warmed up. Just dip in the wax. I'm done. I will just dab it off, and you can see when I pull it out, it doesn't frost over and cool right away because the bullet's been preheated. And so that's done. So then you got remember to take your cold bullet, or you'll forget where you were on your circle here of cartridges. So that's cold. Pull out a hot one. Go like this. And the other thing I like too is when you load these, you don't get big globs of extra wax squishing out all over the place when you load them. That's the other advantage. You don't have wax stuck up in your ramming lever and the window for on your revolvers where you load the cartridges in. And I like to move it around when you dab it. Don't stay in the same spot. And so that's basically how I wax them. And to put these in the box here, these are all ones I did earlier that are cooled off. And so these will just fit in really nice. And you want just enough wax that the wax will kind of hold them in place. They don't quite glue them in place, but it kind of squishes a little bit and holds them in there. And so something like that. And you should get a little bit of, well, if you have a wire in there, you probably won't get any squish to it. But when you open them up, sometimes they'll stick like that. That's fine. You just don't want a bunch of wax squishing out to either side. And when you pop these out, you don't want chunks of wax flaking off your bullets. So that's about it. Thanks for watching.